the best, from a creative perspective, are the things that are always rooted in authenticity.
Thanks for chatting with me, man. I really appreciate it. This is I don't know if it's a long time coming, but we're here.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you having me, man, and reaching out. Everybody I've shared so far, the premise of your podcast, bro, instantly like they crack up laughing and they're
Yeah,
just enamored with it,
yeah.
right? They're like, "Damn, that's such a good." Like I was telling them, like, bro, it's like such a good idea, and you're hands down, bro, out of all the folks that I know, like one of the most, just kind of creative and naturally funny folks. And so, like, this premise of like, oh shit, Nico meeting with people and just like talking to his followers and basically determine should we still be should we still
Yeah.
be friends on
Yeah.
IG or not is hilarious, bro. It's hilarious. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to be on, man.
No, for sure. It's one of those people tell you your whole life that you should do this to do that, and you're like, you know what? When I'm finally ready, and I'm gonna do it for fun, and then here we are, and the idea came to me just skating, and I was like, the same people like this stuff, but like, who are all these people? And then I'm just gonna put some duct tape, some glue, and I'm just going to put this thing together. Every episode's going to be the same, but a little different because I'm upgrading every episode. Like, here's some new lighting,
Yeah,
but I'm just really keeping it low key. I just find it funny.
yeah.
And my goal is to chat with every single person across all my social media platforms. I said, let me build up this catalog and just launch this bad boy. In case I die in the hurricane, then it's just dying on my computer. So you're going to
No,
get my thoughts
we
on
made it.
everything.
Yeah, we made it. We made it through in one piece,
Yeah.
and yeah, man, I think it's dope. Actually, I was laughing because I caught a snip of the I guess the last guest that you had on, and like, bro, I was in tears when you legit like pulled up his IG like in real time. I was like, yo, like, hold on, let's go through your stuff, and then you're like, all right, I'm gonna just go ahead and unfollow.
All
I was like,
right.
yo, yo, Nico is an asshole. I love it.
Like,
It's the best, bro.
it was funny. Vanessa's mom, she saw it, and then she didn't know I like knew him, and so she's like the perfect like focus group because she's like,
Yeah.
that man cussed at him, and he just unfollowed. I was like, it's perfect.
Like, oh,
I was
yes.
like, okay, that's a natural reaction for people who don't know. Like, and I say, whether I know you or not, like, we're gonna. All right, should we still do this? If not, it's fine. I don't care. So,
like, it's all no harm, no foul. We still know each other in real life. That's
yeah, no,
good enough.
it's fine. All right, goodbye. And that was it. So, I appreciated that came through, and I'm excited. I've made a list of sort of like a list of people that I believe would say yes, and then my maybes, and then I'm just prepared to get a bunch of no's, putting it across all platforms and just chatting about whatever. I feel like who I was talking to yesterday, they really enjoyed my MCU rankings, and then I think I would do that video again, but with a little more cohesive thoughts because I was just going off the top of the dome. And
Have you been following Agatha, the Agatha series?
No, I didn't rank it. I said if I do, I'll wait till it's over. I'm kind of burnt out, and
Yeah, me
honestly,
too.
doing that list, I was just like, "There's a lot of crap." Well, I hate to
Yeah,
say
a
crap.
lot of mid. There's mid in
Mid,
there. There's a lot of mid in there.
a lot of mid. Are you watching it?
I am. I've been watching it, but it's one of those things like I feel like I've been indoctrinated, right? Because like we've
Yeah,
been watching this for like like decades,
yeah,
right? So it's like all right, they took the time to create something new that is connected to something I've already consumed.
hmm
So it's like let me at least see where they're trying to take the storyline. And the Agatha series is actually pretty well done. I get what they're trying to plant the seeds for. I'm not gonna
hmm
spoil it for folks that haven't watched it yet. It's
yeah.
pretty well done, and I do like the lead actress that they have. I
Oh,
like her
Catherine
range.
Hahn. Yeah,
Karen, yeah, just in general, I like her range, but um, it is starting to get played. They got to do something new. They got to do something
yeah,
completely new. That's just like reset. And so that's why I'm a little bit torn on the decision of, bringing back RDJ for Doom,
Yeah.
because it's like, oh, this doesn't get us to something new. As much as I like, he's one of my favorite actors, like super dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it doesn't get us to something new. It feels like it's like a retread
Yeah.
to try and spark the magic that came from the first Iron Man. It's like, ugh.
I get that. I'm the same way. I'm torn, and yeah, acting or otherwise, just like I was mentioning in my previous video about, I try not to talk about the acting of these people because they're all, they're actors, they're doing their thing. But story
Mhm.
wise, I'm kind of like, I can see where they're drawing from for some comic book inspirations. But for me, I want another young actor that's hungry. Granted, this is a multiversal thing, which they haven't really done the multiversal thing well. And if they're waiting for their
No,
Avengers movie to like really do it, I'm like, that's a long time of mid before we get to that point.
to that, yeah,
Yeah, it's like, what are we doing here? So for me, I I want to treat it just like we did Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, all these no names ish people, and give it
Mhm.
to some young hungry buck. Let them get their face plastered on lunchboxes. Let them sign their likeness away,
Hell
and
yeah, put him in the 360, the
yeah,
Marvel 360.
yeah, let them, like I get it. It feels like a last ditch effort. They could work. It's just a lot, and I get it. We've been in this fight for a long time, so watching this, you're like, that's really, like, come on, like
Yeah, it's
they,
hard. Yeah, it's
yeah,
hard because it's like, no, bro. Like, I felt like they sent off obviously Tony, but Robert,
yep,
right? Like they sent him off perfect.
yeah,
Like it was the
he's
perfect character arc from where he was in the first Iron Man to this Avenger, and you saw the kind of the through line throughout of
yeah,
every Avengers type event. Like he got closer and closer to that point of like self sacrifice and understanding,
yep,
his role, and then so he does that, and you're like, oh, this is satisfactory,
mm-hmm,
and it's like, okay, cool, ready to pass on the torch, and then like they bring him back. It's like, oh, hold
yeah,
on, no, like now I gotta go through another character development arc, or like how are y'all planning on doing this? Like I just have so many questions.
yeah,
I don't know. I'm hoping it's a little bit. To be honest with you, I'm hoping it's a little bit of a fake out. You know how they did in Iron Man 3, where
the
the
Mandarin.
Mandarin,
Yeah,
yeah,
it may be. I hope it. That's the thing, because I like the Mandarin reveal because a lot of those old
me too,
characters are
racist.
racist. I mean, I was like very cartoonishly racist, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, it's funny. He's an actor because after a while, these movies can't be like they can't have singular threats anymore because you're like, where's the Avengers? Why aren't they helping each other out?
Hmm.
And that was the last not single movie besides Winter Soldier, like the standalone film that I was like, okay, this is the last time I'll accept him doing everything on his own.
Don't
Uh,
right, like just call up your homeboys. Like, yo, hey, this Mandarin
they
dude's
have the
tripping.
news. Where's Nick
Yeah,
Fury?
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, we got to go handle that. Somebody's threatening the United States and has the president captured, but like, nah, Tony
In
got that by himself.
Miami?
I got other stuff to do. Like, huh?
No, you don't.
No, you don't. Where's Captain America, bro?
Where's Captain America? Where's Thor? Where's Black Widow? Where's anyone?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is before you find out Shield's compromised. So it's like, what are we
Hmm.
doing? So yeah, I
Yeah.
hope it's a fake out in a way. It's bringing buzz, it's having these conversations online, all the YouTubers and people having these conversations. I don't want to speculate too much, but I'm more so like, where we at now? Well, I watch
Yeah.
Agatha. I never was a big wizards and witch person anyway, but I'm kind of like, maybe I'll catch the highlights. Same thing when I saw Deadpool and Wolverine. I remember
That was
went with
good.
some friends. They saw it before me. They were waiting for my reaction,
Oh,
and they were
I
just
hate that.
looking at me in the theater. I could just
I
feel them
hate
staring
that.
at
I
me.
hate that. I hate that. Like, yo, leave me alone. Like, let me go through I don't want to have to feel like I'm performing for you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
whatever your expectation is. Like, maybe that doesn't resonate with me, and now you're disappointed. But like, why would you be disappointed that I'm not reacting to? Like, I don't
yeah.
react
Like,
to
I mean, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm getting paid for this. I'm sitting here
that.
watching
Yeah,
like everybody
it's
else.
like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
What did you think of it?
Um, I enjoyed it for the simple fact that it was straight up fan service. I think Ryan Reynolds has found his niche in terms
Mm-hmm.
of I don't the same thing that makes RDJ perfect for Tony is like it's not really an act. I'm just an exaggeration of my natural personality is what I
Yeah.
feel like. And so I feel like Ryan Reynolds achieved that. I think Hugh Jackman is such a dynamic actor that he can bring the right weight
Yeah.
and gravity to even the most outlandish situations. Like it's still going to come through and connect. And he was able to bring kind of those emotive notes. And I think Ryan's kind of shtick of like that kind of fourth wall breaking made it very easy to bring levity in those situations because it was like you had that balance of like this guy who's like going all in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really Wolverine. I'm going through this pain, and then you got like kind of this meta commentary against it,
Yeah.
which I thought was like really dope. But I thought it was enjoyable. I don't consider it though like a part of, as weird as it sounds, I don't consider it a part of any like of the MCU.
No.
Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I
to me,
agree.
it's just like it's just kind of like its own standalone thing,
Mm-hmm.
and um, it's entertaining, but it doesn't make me feel less confident or more confident about where they're taking kind of the Marvel roadmap. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, that's super dope, but that doesn't save y'all from having shitty storylines.
No, it
A bunch
doesn't.
of mid storylines. Like it's just a standalone
No.
thing, but like, all right. So let's get back to the task at hand. What are y'all actually going to do
What's the
with the
big bad?
franchise to
What are we
take it
doing
somewhere?
here? They say
Yeah, it's
like,
like that's cool.
yeah, I thought it was all right. It was kind of, it wasn't mid. It was like a step or two above mid, but like, I never
Hmm.
was the biggest Deadpool fan. I like the first two movies, I like the first one more. And then I'm just
Yeah,
happy that it finally got those two characters together. And when that happened, I felt, I mean, I've always knew anything was possible in film, but I realized, this is something special because this guy has been teasing this team up for years. He wanted it. They needed it. Hugh Jackman
yeah,
finally came into his own fully as Wolverine with the costume and then even with
yeah,
Logan. And I
yeah.
just appreciate him poking fun at everything. Now, would I see a fourth one? I probably wouldn't. I think I'm kind of like, you did
I'm
it.
done with it.
It's done.
Mm.
Let's like
Move
he
on to
said,
something else.
till he's 90. I'm like, geez, that it seems like him and RDJ, like till you're 90, we're gonna have you in
Yeah,
that fucking costume.
yeah. You gonna put on the fucking cow, like
Yeah, like essentially, yeah, like it's like a
get the claws, like
it's
or
literally
like
like a skeezy like promoter in a club. Like, all right, put the cowl
yeah,
on.
like no,
Good. Like, oh, jeez.
like no, they're tired of it.
Like,
It almost reminds me. I don't know if you saw the Elvis movie,
oh,
but the fact that they had,
the new joint. No, I
yeah,
haven't.
Austin Butler. It's
I
fine. It was I watched it. It was on stream or whatever the case may be. Like it's fine. Austin Butler does his thing, but like it just reminded me of how
Tom
later
Hanks's
in Elvis's
character.
life. Yeah, Tom. Yeah, exactly. Like how later in Elvis's life, like he had so much debt or whatever. Like, bro, you're gonna be performing at these casinos until you're fucking done, type thing. Like that's what
Yeah.
Marvel is. It's like it's like, hey, RDJ, hey, hey, Hugh Jackman, you're gonna be performing in this fucking cow until you're
Yeah.
done.
We pay
We
you
own you.
millions of dollars. You're going to be dancing on these. You're going to tap on these. You're going to put on these tap
Yeah,
shoes. You're going to dance. You're
yeah.
going to get
Like
in
you know,
ridiculous shape at 85 years old. No CGI.
no CGI at all, bro. Just straight diet, maybe a little bit of steroids, some Ozempic in
Mm-hmm.
there. I don't
You
care,
good?
right? And you know
Pop
what?
the.
You like singing. You like singing so much, Hugh Jackman. Guess what? I wrote fucking Wolverine the musical.
You're going to sing,
You're gonna do it. We're gonna take it to Broadway, bro. Like,
dude. That's so nuts. That's exactly what you're going to be. It's going to be like Hamilton. We're going to crank this crap out forever and ever and ever. I,
exactly.
I'm a fan. If he does it, sure, but like I'll catch it on streaming because I'm trying to think.
Same.
Besides Deadpool and Wolverine, I think came in the last thing I saw superhero wise in theaters. It's kind of a drought, but again, I don't think it's a what are they? I don't think it's oversaturation. I just think people are bored.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah. I'm trying to think. That's a good question. The last superhero related movie I actually saw in theaters, I think it was the most recent Batman with
oh,
Robert
that one, yeah,
Pattinson.
that one was dope. Like I'm
That
watching
one
the
was super
Penguin
dope.
now, and that one's good.
Same, bro. What do you? Yeah, you like it?
I like it more than I thought I would. watching it, I'm like, everybody gives it the Sopranos comp, but I think that's kind of a weak comparison. That's
I
just
agree.
because it's on
It's a
HBO
cop out.
and it's a cop out. It's a
And then
mob show.
and mob show, like, come on, yeah, that's not what it is. That's
Nah,
not
it's
what it is.
not.
I agree. It's not that at all. But I think Colin Farrell's doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
Uh, just bringing the character to life, and I
Mhm.
think they did a really good job of keeping it very grounded in a world that is not grounded at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's a superhero world. But I
Yeah.
think part of that is because of the tone that was set in the Batman movie.
Hmm.
It was very detective noir. And so, like, that carried through, and it didn't seem like this outlandish,
Yeah.
superhero masquerading type thing. You know what I mean?
I think so. I really enjoyed the movie. I like the vibe. I think it's one of the top three, live action Batman movies. Like, I guess I can do a video ranking those one day, but I loved it because it was just finally we get not a human like Batman, but he seems crazy. Like, and he's a shut in. And I'm like, yeah, he's
Yeah,
nuts. And I like
yeah.
that.
Exactly. He's not this eccentric billionaire that's like bipolar-ish or
Not
whatever.
yet.
Like,
He's
yeah,
getting
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. But like, he's just like legitimately like a fucking psycho. This is
He
perfect.
is. He literally. I always laugh when like Alfred's got blown up, and then like the first thing he says to Alfred is, "You son of a bitch, you lied to me." I'm like, yo, this is your father
Yo,
figure. He just woke up. Alfred is smiling at him, and he's like, just growling, and like, dude, like, chill out. So yeah,
calm down, bro.
calm down,
Calm down.
bro. Like I think in the sequel he'll tap into his Bruce Wayne persona more just because he knows he needs both. And one day I hope the Batman movies get to a little bit more of that superhero campy aspect because Batman he has child soldiers. So like
Yeah.
and he thinks of them like that. So it's kind of I want them to really go into the idea that a lot of superheroes and I have child soldiers. Like I always said this years ago that Power Rangers, they're teenage child soldiers. If you think about the original premise, Zordon indoctrinates a bunch of teenagers to fight in an intergalactic war that they had no part of. And he just thinks because they have some sort of attitude, I'm just going to bring them into my
Hey,
war.
you guys got some spunk. I like you. Let's go
Yeah.
fight some fucking aliens.
Yeah, let's go fight aliens. You never murdered sentient creatures? Sure, here you go. Destroy
Hold
your.
on. You're a brown belt, aren't you?
Yeah,
You got a brown belt?
I
Hey,
think you can fight.
I think you can fight. here's this Megazord
Yeah, here's a giant robot. You can't drive a car,
car.
but you can pilot an ancient
Giant
machine
ancient machine built by aliens.
to kill anything that it fights.
You will have the most advanced technology your civilization has ever known,
Mm-hmm.
and we are going to use it to fight this bitch named Rita.
Yeah,
I
and
hate her.
and every other. I locked her in a trash can on the moon. I didn't think you humans would ever get to the moon, but here you are. So yeah, like the Power Rangers are child soldiers, and I feel like every cop should watch the Power Rangers first episode because watching it as an adult, Zordon gives them a force continuum. He literally says to them, "Don't never use your power. Use your powers for defense, never for attack. Never escalate a fight unless Rita escalates it first." So it's against the rules for them to morph unless they're outnumbered. They can't shoot their guns or their swords unless they're outnumbered. They can't even call the Zord first unless Rita gets huge. Their monsters get huge first. He says that in the first episode. And they have a better force continuum than the police do in the United States.
So if I hear you correctly, your perspective, which I don't know if I disagree with you, is the first episode of Power Rangers should be required training curriculum.
Yeah, I mean,
for
why not?
all law enforcement? Like, this is you guys are our version of the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
And this is our spectrum of escalation of force.
Yeah.
These are the rules that come with the badge.
Yeah. I mean, clearly, because it seems like everything else is not working, so we might as well just start throwing spaghetti at the wall.
Spaghetti at the wall.
I
Hey, y'all
mean,
seen Power Rangers, right?
yeah.
Y'all like that?
You see what he says
who's your
here?
favorite?
Yeah, like he literally tells them, "Don't do this, don't do that. I'll take away your power, and that's it." Like I need one. Jordan chooses honorable people. You know, it's just I always thought about that when it comes to training any military force, any people that walks around with a badge, a gun. You know, trained killers, killing our people. I said, you know, the Power Rangers have a force continuum. Why? They listen to it, and they're teenagers in the '90s. You know, presumably Rodney King and all that stuff existed in their universe. So, and Angel Grove is like L.A. So like
LA, yeah, so they got exposure to the riots.
Yeah, they know exactly what happened. It's not important.
And in fact, Jordan knows what happened, and he used that as a framework for the force continuum for them. He said, "Hey, I don't want none of that Rodney King shit to happen."
Yeah, not in Angel Grove.
Not in Angel Grove. Not with my powers. Not with my Zords.
No, so you're out. You're off the force. Give me your morpher and your color coordinated outfits. So yeah, I think a lot of superhero media has child soldiers. I think if the movies lean into that more, like, oh, what happens if this person has a sidekick? You know, let's indoctrinate them into this war on crime, or this my alien war that I brought to your planet. Same thing with Transformers. Like, you know, like in the movies, Optimus, you know, they come to Earth, they bring their war to Earth. We didn't ask for it, so it's a lot of when people need to think about that. Like, there's a lot of craziness happening in these superhero mediums. So there's no such thing as boring superhero movies. They're just not talking about the right aspect. Like if a movie started talking about Batman's emotional instability and his willingness to adopt children and like what he trains them to do. And social services doesn't know, but they got to know Bruce Wayne keeps adopting these wards. It's got to raise off some red flags.
Yeah, for sure. Right. And especially when like, you know, some of them end up passing, right? Like Jason Todd and stuff like that. Like,
not just passing, they're murdered.
Murdered. Yeah. You know?
Murdered and paralyzed.
Right. So like child services may not know that. They're just like, you know what? I haven't seen Jason in a while.
Jason's
like, who's doing these checkups? Who's doing checkups on these orphans?
Nope.
They're supposed to be mandatory checkups, right? You just pull up to, hey, Bruce, hey, Alfred, yo, we haven't heard from Jason in a minute.
Yeah.
Is he good?
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's good, man. He's good. Hey, come on out. Wait, hold on. Why is he in a wheelchair?
Yeah. What happened to her? Like, it's great. Like, what
happened to her?
If we know the Kardashians, like, their kids, like, if Batman existed for real, like, we would know, like, eligible bachelor Bruce Wayne adopted Dick Grayson from the Flying Graysons. Oh, he adopted another one. Oh, he adopted, and he has an illegitimate son. Like, it's just, it would just keep happening. Yeah, he'd be
tabloid fodder.
But like, that's the one thing people would think, you know what? I guess he can't be Batman because he's got to raise all them kids. But you never all see them in one place at the same time. You know, it's just movies should lean into how ridiculous comics are.
Yeah, I agree. That would actually be really entertaining and really, really hilarious.
I see you got a Chucky shirt on. Are you have you watched the show?
I didn't, bro. I was gonna start with the first season. To be honest with you, the only reason I didn't is because it's just on a crappy app. It's like on a crappy streaming app, and so like it's one of those streaming apps like I forget about.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because it's on Peacock or is it Paramount?
It might be Paramount because Paramount, you know, it's not that great when they give away free trials for the Super Bowl. They're like, we need anybody and everybody on this thing.
I think it's Paramount. I think you're right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like it's literally because of that. Honestly, we've gotten too many streaming platforms, like too many streaming apps. It's too much to keep track of. So like, and I'm a big Chucky fan, a big Child's Play fan. We're big on Halloween here in the family and stuff like that. But I was like, oh man, I keep forgetting that.
Yeah. I feel the same.
Did you catch it?
I've watched all the movies. I've watched the first season, and then like Child's Play was cool. I just never like got into it. Like horror wise, I'm more like Saw and like Scream and Halloween. Like I'll listen to like breakdowns of like horror history on all these
That's cool.
characters and franchises. But yeah, Child's Play was one of the ones where like it's an interesting story, and I like how they don't reboot it. It's all part of the same chronology. So I appreciate that. But horror wise, it's just fascinating. Like I'm into like people like fighting real people, I guess. You know, not a lot of supernatural stuff. Mine is Halloween. Halloween has some supernatural crap going on.
Yeah.
But nah, mine is like Saw is probably like my favorite modern like franchise.
I would agree. Did you see the most recent one?
Yeah, I was in theaters. I mean, it was a good theater experience for a Saw movie. Everybody was into it.
Yeah, bro. I like them quite a bit, and I like the fact that because that wasn't the one. Was that the one with Chris Rock?
No, that was
wasn't the one with
Spiral.
Chris Rock. That was Spiral,
Which
right
is
before
interesting
that.
to say that out loud again. Like, oh yes, Chris Rock wanted to do a Saw film, and he made it happen.
Yeah, he did. Respect.
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't the greatest, but I'm glad that they followed it back up with bringing back the original, the guy. But yeah, I enjoy. Like, I agree. Like, I don't even look at Child's Play like Chucky as like horror by definition. It's just entertaining. It's funny to me, and so it's just entertaining from that lens. Like, I would agree. Like, Saw, definitely horror genre for me. And then there are some ones that are like supernatural where like it's so out there that it's scary. I don't know any other way to put it, because like there's enough threads in there. You're like, oh man, like if that really happened, like what would I do? To me, I was talking to Jose about this, our brother-in-law. Anything done by A24, like in the horror genre, A1, bro.
It's crazy how they took over. Like they legit said, okay, we found a hole in the market. Like I would have Googled like all of A24's projects, you'd be like, man, like why did that happen? How did that happen? How did like, not Miramax, but like all these other companies just fumble the bag with the elevated horror? I think they're also the ones that do The Conjuring, which I haven't seen any single Conjuring one. I think ghost stuff I'm not afraid of. So for me watching it, it's like a comedy. I'm kind of like, I really don't,
like, get out, like, no,
I live here, like, leave me alone. I'm like, oh, this guy's life sucks. Like, yeah, I'm staring at the wall eating spaghetti, like I have nothing to say, get away from me. So like horror. I never really get scared at horror. When I was a kid I was, but then I really got out of that. Like I see things as like, that's hilarious. Like that's
there's a couple ones though, like I think A24 is done where like I think the ones that get me the most are ones that touch on like notes of like cannibalism and stuff like that.
Oh
like,
yeah,
like
what was that cannibalism one?
Like when they encounter like tribes that have been like separated from or stuff like that's the ones that get me, because it's like, oh shit, that could like really really happen. There's so many civilizations likely that we haven't come into contact with or discovered, that like if they met us they'd be like, no, this is like completely within the bounds of like how we survive, and we don't know you, and
Green
you're
Inferno.
an enemy. You're Green Inferno. Yes,
that's the one I'm thinking about right now. I just pulled it up. Yeah, that one. I was like, ugh, I don't want to go there.
Yeah, exactly. Right. There's another one, Green Inferno. There's another one that just came out again on Netflix. Have you ever seen Bonesaw Ridge?
No.
Bonesaw Ridge. So it's basically Western. I love Western. So it's basically set cowboy Western. There's
I think I know what you're talking about. Hold on.
They come across an Indian tribe. This movie is known for what they call the wishbone scene.
Oh, you know what? I haven't seen this movie, and but I've seen the other two movies this director does, and I enjoy this director. So that's why it's like Bone Tomahawk. Yeah,
Bone Tomahawk. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, not Bonesaw Ridge. Bone Tomahawk, bro. Totally worth the watch. It's really really good. Very gruesome, very gory, and again, like I said, that movie is best known for this scene is called like the wishbone scene. Like that's
Okay.
the only way I can describe it. So like think about like a Thanksgiving dinner, right?
Yeah. All
Similar
right.
concept, like
It's on my
super
list to
gruesome, but it's really
watch.
good.
It's
It's
funny
really
because I've
good.
seen his other two movies and I really enjoyed them. Brawl in Cell Block 99 and
Yep.
Dragged Across Concrete. I think his S.
I
Craig
haven't seen Dragged
Zoller.
Across. Yeah, I
Yeah,
haven't seen
it's
Dragged Across
pretty
Concrete.
it's pretty cool. And like I see Bone Tomahawk on Netflix. I'm like, one of these days I got to sit down and watch this thing. It just maybe
It's
I'll do
good.
it for Halloween this year. I mean, why not?
It's good. But I try to. It's funny, like anything that is rooted in like cowboys or western or whatever always catches my attention because like when I was growing up and we were living with my great grandma for a while. My great grandmother, she on the weekend she would always watch like westerns and stuff like that, and so like I
Hmm.
really got into it as a kid, and so that's carried through. And so like Bone Tomahawk, like I watched it because I was like, oh shit, there's cowboys in here, like it's western, let me see. And then I got
Yeah.
surprised. I was like, oh wow, okay. But it was really really good. And I just, matter of fact, during the storm I watched for the first time, believe it or not, I watched 310 to Yuma.
Oh, the was it Christian Bale on that one?
Yep.
Yep.
Christian
Yeah, it's a
Bale,
good one.
and yeah, it
I
was a good
believe
one.
it. Like it's not like it's on everyone's like no one's thinking about 310 to Yuma most
Yeah,
days.
yeah, exactly. But I was like, oh snap, let me. I watched it. It's like, oh, this is actually a really good story. A really good concept. It's really well done. So
Good. Did you lose power during the storm or anything like that?
no, man, we lucked up actually. Like,
Oh,
no power loss, no internet loss or anything like that. Like, it was as peaceful as it can be, which is good.
yeah.
Because Lord knows with these 4 kids here, God,
Oh,
if we would have
yeah.
lost internet or power,
There would have been hell on earth. I
yeah,
we lost internet and power, and when it finally came back, it was cool. But I think until 4, and then it was gone. But I was just chilling, playing games, watching TV, working on this, and just
hmm
listening to the craziness outside. I'm like, oh gosh, yeah, I gotta
yeah,
get out
like
of here.
yeah, like this doesn't sound the
It
greatest.
doesn't
That's
sound
probably
great
the worst
outside.
part of it. Yeah, that's probably the worst part is because like when the storm hit, right? So you're talking about like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, all the way
Mm-hmm.
through. Like it's so pitch black outside, you can't see what's happening out there,
No.
and you just like hear it. And like I was standing upstairs, and I looked out the window, and I could see like the palm that's in our front yard. Like it was like that, and I'm like, oh, that can't be like that can't
No.
be good. Like, oh, just please stay in place. Like, please
Please.
don't. Like, my mind started going through. I was like, don't fall through the roof, don't fall through the garage, don't fall here, don't fall in the car. Just please stay in place. Like, this
Please.
does not sound good out there.
See, I was hoping for the opposite. Like, please hit my car. I wanted to get rid of this damn
It's like
thing.
you think I'm trying to cash out.
I literally was like, should I drive down to the? I was at the Sanford lakefront. I don't know why it parked there. Just get washed away. Like, was homeboy in Tampa that stayed on his boat? Like,
Yeah,
I need
Lieutenant Dan. I'm a
Lieutenant
Lieutenant Dan
Dan.
in my own car. I
Yeah,
ain't going nowhere.
I was like, man. Now here, like in our home, like we have these trees like all through the backyard behind this radio tower. And I'm sure you've driven by because we're right behind the field and the
hmm
little baseball field. And I'm just looking
hmm
outside like, if one of these things fall in this house, my God. And like we're getting work done and all this other stuff. I'm like, this is the last thing we need for this thing to flood out. I'm moving to New Mexico full time if
Word.
this crap happens. I'm
You're,
out of
oh,
here.
man, fuck it. Y'all
I'm
got it.
done. I got it.
You got
This
it. I'm out. I'm leaving.
this American dream's dead.
I'm going to New
I'm
Mexico.
going to I'll deal with random flash fires instead of this.
Instead of this shit.
Yeah.
Nah, it's
Nah.
funny you mentioned like people like intentionally like trying to find ways to get out of their loans and coming up and stuff like that. Bro, there was
Mm.
so much of that when I got caught in that flash flood in
Oh
like Fort
yeah.
Lauderdale,
Yeah.
right? And so obviously crazy situation you already know about. But like when I finally got picked up, I was driving back, bro. The number of people that I was seeing driving their cars intentionally into into Fort Lauderdale, right? So I'm sitting here, I'm like, yo, like, what the fuck? These people not know? And then like my Uber driver at the time, he's like, oh no, he's like, no, bro, they know, they're doing it on purpose. And I was like, oh shit, the insurance money, the scam. He's like, yeah, bro, people were driving towards the flood zones, intentionally driving towards the flood zones, so that they could get their cars washed out,
Damn.
and then they would try and get Uber to pick up and go back or whatever so they can get out of the loans. And they were just telling, oh yeah, I was down there for dinner. I was in Fort Lauderdale for dinner and stuff like that. And it hit me and I couldn't get up, bro. I'm telling you,
It's
bro. So I
real.
wouldn't be surprised. It's real.
Look, we had an incident with these cats here where we were in Reno, and then supposedly the story goes that the bidet or something leaked, and like
Mm-hmm.
the cats were in here. So like, did they do it or did it leak or whatever? So long story short, everything was covered in water. The floors, the carpet, like an inch or so of water. And we finally received word from an adjuster not too long ago, because our previous adjuster, I think she may have quiet quit because she wasn't answering calls or anything like that for weeks. And so we got that taken care of. So we finally got approved to get pretty much an entire restoration of this place, painting,
Dope.
walls. So we're packing up just to go somewhere until they fix it. And then the hurricane happened. And I'm like, I wonder if they took so long to get back to us. They're wondering if we're trying to scam them or some crap. Like, I don't know. It just flooded. And like, you weren't there. No, look at the cameras. We were in Reno. Like, we were nowhere near here. How could we? So
Yeah.
I see they're like, yo, these Negroes trying to scam, bro.
Like, we on it, y'all.
They want a new house so bad. They're like, just flood it.
We're gonna flood it, and y'all gonna give me a new one. Like,
Now, like, oh snap, we get new floors, new paint, everything replaced. All for $1,000 deductible. Okay.
Okay.
So I see why people are driving in the flash floods. Like, I don't got that kind of heart to do that. Well, I wouldn't say I don't have the heart to it, but I'll just say, like, I don't have the patience to, like.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Like the scam. You know what I mean? It's like, man, like all the work you have to go through. Like, all right, I gotta drive myself into like danger.
Danger.
I gotta be like alert enough to not die, but I also gotta be in a place where it's believable enough that my car actually got
you've never in your life driven to Fort Lauderdale ever,
like,
and then now
like why are you there, right? And it can't just be like right on the edge of it, right? Like I gotta get like in the heart of it, you know what I mean? And so like that was the issue. Is like it will require too much effort in order to make sure that it's believable enough, and then get yourself out of it. It's like, nah, I don't want to do it. Fuck it. I'll just keep making payments.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's like, because it's like, okay, if because it's a flash flood, so raining is happening. So then you have to think to yourself, I think I'll just stay here and not drive my car away before it floods. You literally have to say, oh, I was knocked out in the hotel room and I woke up and it was just, no traffic cameras caught you. It's just people don't wear masks anymore. So like they're just literally just looking at the cameras. They do crime. Yeah, it's not worth it, kids. Don't try to scam the system. They know the rules.
Like that.
They have SOPs for this. Like you call them, they literally just read the script and say, okay, I'm not for that.
Yeah, at the end of the day, especially like with a lot of these insurance companies, like because we were the same for like when I worked in insurance for like appliances and stuff like that early on, like you said, telling the kids like don't do it, guys, trust us. We used to intentionally hire people who would do nothing but try and think of ways to game the system so that we could build guardrails against it. It's the same thing that the government does, right? The government tries to hire the best hackers. Like, I don't know if you saw that guy who found a hacker who found a loophole in NASA's computer security that allowed him to, like, he could have repositioned some of their satellites. And so what he did was he reported that he found this gap, and there's obviously a monetary reward for it, and then they sent him a thank you letter, like, thank you, hacker, blah, 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 whatever, for exposing this gap in our security so that we can close it, right? Like, it's people like you that allow us to, pressure test our systems or whatever. So, like, there's so much money involved in these things that these companies will invest to find the people that are good at thinking of the scams so that they can close loop on the scams.
See, I would do that job. I think
Yeah, I would do too.
I would just, yeah, all right, let's have some fun here. You're basically paying people to troll.
Yeah,
Um,
that was half the plot of what's that DiCaprio Tom Hanks movie Catch
Catch
Me
Me
If
If
You
You
Can.
Can. Yeah, yeah, it
After
was.
he got so good at check scams that once they caught him, they were like, "Look, we're gonna take time off your sentence if you help us figure out ways to avoid
Yeah,
people being able to scam us again."
yeah,
Like
perfectly
the whole
fair,
premise.
perfectly legitimate job because
Exactly.
that's who you need to hire. Now, if you work for Boeing, then that's different. Like, they're not going to hire you because you scam them. They're just gonna whistleblowers, hackers.
Hey, hey, get him out of here. It
Get 'em
costs too
out,
much
yeah.
money to go fix that gap, so we can't let people know it exists.
I saw this funny clip of this dude pretending to be a hacker going against Rockstar for GTA 6, and he was like trying to call to scam them, and then in the skit, the guy goes such and such, like his name, and then named his address, where he lived, his social security number, all that. He's like, "You messed up, Tommy. You're done. You're dead. You've got 5 minutes before they come in to get you, and you're not gonna make it. You screwed up." Like, just because he wanted to hack to get GTA 6 out there, like Rockstar will put it into you. Like,
Yeah,
there
no,
is
yeah, they
no
don't play.
coming back.
No, no, no. You're done. You're done for. You're gonna cost us billions. You're done.
You're done. We're gonna send you to the Huskow, to the Gulag. You're over.
The gulag.
Yeah,
Go to the gulag.
you love playing Warzone so much. We're gonna.
What?
All right.
It's real life. It's real life
Yeah,
Warzone.
we're Rockstar. We're not Bethesda. We're not Activision. Like, we make games about gooning. What are you talking about? We interviewed and hired a bunch of
We live this.
goons to goon in real life, and we motion cap that. You think we
That's
won't
it.
end you?
Huh? Wait, you thought CJ fucking up San Andreas was code?
Nah,
Nah,
man.
bro.
That's
We
mocap.
got a real CJ. That's mocap.
That's a real gangbanger. We're very authentic.
Very authentic.
Nah. 10 out of 10 all games. Why? Because we about that life.
We
You're like, you seen Bone Tomahawk? Wishbone?
yeah.
Like, yeah, we're going to put that in the game based off what we do to you.
You. We're gonna mocap that.
Mocap that.
We're gonna mocap that. Put this
off-
black suit on.
Off your
You're
broke
done.
ass. We won't even be able to find you. That's how serious Rockstar is about GTA 6. And
We
it's
don't- we
set
don't
in
play.
Miami. You're done.
You're done. You're done.
Nah, that's
Take your
the
ass out of Bahamas. You're
that's
done.
the next thing I'm looking forward to. Like, I after GTA 6, I think I'm ready to have kids. So, like, after that,
Like I got one big major game releasing me, and then after that,
all
I
right,
think I'm ready to settle down.
like, it's no more because there will be no time. So that's literally
You're
that's literally the checkpoint. Like, okay, if I get to there and then I do the story at least. All right, then after,
and I think I
I'm
can settle
ready.
down. I think I can dedicate some of this time to raising kids.
Yeah, while they release some DLC.
Yeah, so you're not wrong. There's a short window of like your time. You just prioritize other things, but then eventually they come back around. Like bro, right before this, we were playing the new DBZ Sparking Zero.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I just got. It's so tough for me. Like, I'm
Amazing.
learning the control. It's good, but I'm
Yeah,
like, I literally did the
amazing.
tutorial. I'm on the training. Like, okay, how do I learn that? Because I'm getting my ass kicked online.
Kick for it, yeah, amazing, bro. But like, so I just got finished. We were doing round robin tournaments between me, Gio, Joel, Linux,
Mm-hmm.
right, and then Jose, right. So we got a little 5-man tournament like
I got a
going
message,
on.
Jose. Yeah,
We got a 5-man tournament going on. Like all the I'm playing with my kids. Literally, they talking trash to me.
Heck yeah, man. That's
Like,
what my dad did. That's how
the
I
life.
got into gaming. Like, he raised me as he was playing. That's how I got into it. So I have no doubt that I can do it. I just need my time first before I'm, giving them the fake controller. After a while, that's not going to last too long. They're like, I want to play.
Then you got to start finding rotation. So like for me, like what I'll do is like, okay, they can basically have it up until like their bedtime because like, and then after that from bedtime until when I go to sleep so freaking late anyway. It's like, that's just my time. And then I'll figure out like, all right, what do I want to play? What I want to get into? And then I'll make sure that like there's only 2 real rules that I have. or when it comes to gaming with them. The first is, if I buy a new game, you cannot play it before I play it. Like
Oh,
I
okay.
I got to get first touch on it. Like it's just that's just the rule of the system, right?
Yeah.
Like I gotta get the first play at it. And then if you're gonna play story mode, you need to play the story mode like on your own account, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So like Geo has his own, Joel has his own, I have my own. For Linux like if he's going to play a story mode, it has to be on my account because obviously he doesn't have his own. He's only 5, but his own save file. So like Spider-Man, for example, like
Mm-hmm.
when we play Spider-Man, all right, bro, you got your own save file. I got my own save file, right? And you know you got to play on save 2. I got to play on save 1, and we'll move
One of
through
these
it at
days,
different
it's just
times.
going to get mixed up. You're going to come home like, all right,
All
you're
right,
out
like,
of
bro, what
here.
did you do? There's only a handful. There's only been a handful of games where I've said, all right, we're gonna co-op together like through the story.
Mm.
So like we can only play at the same time, like when we're playing together, and we'll take turns going back and forth. There's only been a couple of those, but most of the time, what happens, bro, is I'll beat the story like in a couple of nights, and then I'll be good. Like, okay, cool, I've got the story,
Yeah.
so I don't care now. You can play all you want to. I already know what happens. You're not going to ruin anything. Like, I'm
Yeah.
good.
No, that's a good system because we remember the days of the memory cards, and there was times I would come home from school and my dad was playing a game that I wanted to, and he'd be on it for hours, and I'm just waiting, just like God, I'm never going to play it. Like I didn't want to give spoilers. It's just, and he's just playing like GTA or Metal Gear or Call It or anything, and I would just be sitting there like, God, man, can you like give up the sticks, like, or like, and just being so cognizant of that, like as a child, like as a young kid, you're like. And especially when I wanted to play like the new Dragon Ball Z games that came out, I'm just like,
Yeah.
yo, you got it for my birthday. I'm over here fiending. Like, you're still just, he's like, I'm on disability. What do you want me to do? Like, not do it? Like, okay, damn.
Yeah, I'm
He's
like,
like, I
bro,
hurt my
like, come on.
ankle too.
I'm like, come on, bro. You know you got time. Like,
You got
let me get like
time.
2 hours. Let me
Man,
get like 2 hours.
you got me in this public education system, and then I come home and only respite, and it's you watching you.
Like that, bro. Like, bro,
I
you
don't
have
even watch.
all that time that I'm learning, all that
Yeah,
time that I'm on Uncle Sam's dollar,
yeah.
getting this education. That's you. That's your
Yeah,
gaming
so
time,
it's
bro.
your
Go
time. I
crazy.
come home, I'm not watching a Let's Play before Let's Plays were a thing. Like,
Like,
get up off the sticks.
that's true.
It's like
That's how we came up. Like real life Let's Plays. Like I
Let's
did the same thing.
Plays.
Like my uncles and stuff like that. Like they would be playing. Like, all right, hold on, no, time out here. Are we gonna get a rotation going? Like if you die, you pass it on. Like what's happening here? 'Cause
Yeah,
I'm not gonna just sit here and watch you play. That's not happening.
yeah. And after a while, I was allowed to play. I can pretty much. I could play any game. Really, there was no like. This is too.
A restriction. Yeah,
No. I mean, it was just a different time, and I think I would do my kids the same way. But it depends on their
I'm the same
maturity
way.
level.
I'm the same way. There's only like a couple of games so far that I've been like I've told like Linux like, all right, hey, you're not old enough to play that just yet. And
Yeah,
it's not like any superhero stuff or whatever, but it's like, all right, he wants to play like if you want to play like COD or something like that, right? It's like, bro,
yeah.
like
Eh.
you're not old enough. And even some of that is just like, bro, like the the UI is so complicated that like
Yeah, it's not even
it's
worth
not even
it.
going to be enjoyable for you. Like, let's just play. Like, you can play Fortnite, bro. And Fortnite is kind of gives you the same feelings of first
Yep.
person shooter. Like, go do that. You're good.
Yeah.
And so like that's really it. I don't even have like with Geo. I mean, Geo's 11 now. I don't have any like strict
Yeah, it's too
restriction where
late
it's
at
like, oh,
that
you
age. It's gone.
can't play
Like,
GTA. I don't care. Like, bro, like play it. Like, I'm not. For me, it's like if gaming, if this game can somehow be more influential to you
then
and your
me?
thought process than me, then I'm already failing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I got bigger issues to worry about than like
Yeah.
the brand new Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero corrupted him.
Yeah.
Where did
Yo.
I go wrong? Like no, like I got bigger issues to worry about.
No, it's true. It's like growing up, my dad allowed to play whatever, but like some of my cousins couldn't always play certain things I could. So when they come over, it was always like, hey, can you switch to something else? My dad would be like, no. Like in this house, we play what we want to play. And that got rid of my curiosity. There was nothing that anybody at school or anyone could say, oh, I knew about this. Like I taught my mom, not my sister, and my dad about picking up prostitutes in
Prostitutes in
GTA.
GTA.
Like I was like, well, look at here. I didn't truly understand what was happening, but I knew, what was going down. Essentially,
Mm-hmm.
that's how I feel about it. And I think whenever I have children or raise children, I think the pull for me is like watching them play a game and like, this could be some content in this. My kid plays X game that in my childhood, and then some parents would be like, let's put a camera in their face and make money off it. And I'm like, I kind of want them to be their choice, because that's the natural instinct to say, okay, well, this kid's being exposed to Marvel for the first time. Should we do reaction channels? Should we do Let's Plays, or should they just play it and that's it? But like at a certain age, these kids are exposed to so much. So it's like they might as well have it in your home where you can control it, because 11-year-old, they all know about GTA.
Right context. Yeah, and to give it the right context, I think that's the biggest thing too. Is like there's things even now, like Linux, while he doesn't play, he's gotten exposed to because he's like watching YouTube or whatever the case may be, and like we can have conversations and it has the right context, and he's cognizant enough to be like, all right, that's not a good thing, or that is a good thing, or that's wrong, or I'm too young for that. So like he has that concept, and we're having these candid conversations where I've tried to create this space where that curiosity can be satiated here with the right context and explained, and I'm not outsourcing the explanation to troll hubber 73.
No. I don't need him to
trying to explain it to you. I don't need him to do that and raise my kids like, bro, like I got you, like let's talk it through. And have the right context. So I agree with you, bro.
Yeah, like if you're going to I'm the lore master in this house. You're not going to go on there to get any information on why this character executed this character. Like, because they owed the money, and it's not about the money; it's about the respect. That's how it works in the streets. It wasn't about the paper.
Exactly. Like, money's irrelevant.
Money's
irrelevant.
Fact,
he doesn't even want the money. He's
it's not
proving
about
a point.
He's proving a point. That's what this game's about.
That's what he gave the money back to his family, actually, because he realized he's at his core, he has a good heart. He knows that they need it more, but he was disrespectful.
Playing Call of Duty, don't play with him. It's like, so what, Dad? What's up with the geopolitical politics of the Middle East and Captain Price? Well, Captain Price is a special, like he's he used to work for the SAS. He'll kill him. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
What's up with Makarov? Well, Makarov is an old Russian national, and he's just upset with the government. So, of course, he wants to incite nuclear war. You don't learn that in school.
He had the motivation to do that. Yeah, right? He's an old Russian national. He's just heavily influenced by early KGB propaganda. Yeah. He's trying to get destabilized. He's trying to destabilize.
For real.
Right?
Like, Dad, what's no Russian? Why do we do that in that level? Well, son or daughter, it doesn't matter. It's because he's trying to incite a terrorist incident. And so the game asks you if you want to skip this level. We don't skip levels in this house. We play it.
We play it.
So, you massacre all these people in the airport. And because we play GTA, this is candy. This is nothing. We're not surprised about this.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to see it through, because that was the spirit of
the game.
What the creators wanted the story to entail. Why would we skip over this part?
Why would we skip over this? Not in my house.
Here we also, here we value the creator. We value their artistic decisions, and so we need to experience what this is.
Dad, why do we beat these people up after we go to the club? Well, in GTA, it's about getting a return on your investment. That bat that you use costs money, and you need to be reimbursed. And they're digital NPCs. You kind of have to. It's a rite of passage.
Right. You have to understand. You have to understand that.
Very Leave It to Beaver.
Yeah, in this world, they technically they have no soul. They're here. They're here solely for you to exploit, to get either new resources or ROI for your character. This is about advancing your character.
Yeah. That's why you want to build this new club up, so you need to steal and kill in order to get the money to do so. You want that new Harrier jet, right, son? It has to happen. This is the economy.
I'm sorry.
Right now,
I mean, right now you have a 1 bedroom penthouse, and I mean that's not gonna cut it.
It's not gonna cut it.
That's not gonna cut it. Not in this
No,
game. Not when there's
no.
guys over here, 5 bedroom penthouses,
Mm-hmm.
multiple cars in their garage.
Yep.
Do you want to be the man on the street or not?
Look, do you want the Oppressor Mark II or not? You kind of need to like. I'm tired of driving around in this busted sedan. It is time we get the
exactly, bro.
flying.
It's it. Period.
So
It's that simple. It's more convenient.
that's video games.
It's a
That's
better way to
literally
travel.
it's a better way to travel. You never have to stop at any lights. You get rockets. I mean, that's cool. So like, yeah, if I have to beat up this odd pedestrian for $20, then it has to be that way.
It
You
has to
know?
be that way. You
Yeah.
beat up enough pedestrians, and there you go. There's your helicopter.
Yeah, there it is. How else you
That's
going to
it.
get to and from Pegasus Strip Club? You know, I'm going to
Yeah,
drive.
you're gonna drive.
I want to land.
What type of noob peasant? This is not
Yeah.
our first time playing.
Yeah, we don't pay for shark cards here. We do it from the ground up. We buy our bootstraps. We
Buy our
actually play the game.
Get it?
We
We actually
grind.
play it.
We do the
grind.
heist 40 times, and we rob this
Easily.
casino.
That's how it's called capitalism. Son.
Yeah.
This
Now
is how
go-
you make it.
Now
in
go play
San
outside.
This is how you make it in Los Santos. All right,
Yeah. Now go play kickball with your friends outside.
friends.
And don't overwrite my save. If not, you'll be playing Animal Farm or what's the Animal Crossing. You'll be demoted to Animal Crossing if you do that. You got it?
You'll be relegated to Switch, playing on the Switch, Animal Crossing only. Who
Yeah.
wants to do that?
Who wants to do that? And you got all this.
Punishment.
Who wants to do that
Got
when
all
you
this.
can actually be playing some games and not like, whatever it is you do on that game?
This is like you said. This is our Libra to Beaver moment.
Yeah.
Sit on my
Yeah.
feet, son. Let me tell you.
Me too, Andy. Dad, how come you play The Sims with those mods? Well, son, I value realism.
I value realism.
I value realism.
And I don't believe in anything being watered down.
Yeah, I need Wicked Whims. I need the drug dealing mod. I need all those. I need it to be real.
Because you know what? Because sim is short for simulation, which means it should reflect the life that it is simulating.
Yes.
All of this stuff is available to us.
Yes,
And it needs to be available to them.
In my life, I don't have 10 women fawning over me, but in The Sims, wow,
I'm him.
I would never drown any of my spouses in the pool by taking away the ladder. But in The Sims, you get to do it.
And so we want to simulate that.
We simulate that. I can, there's a Grim Reaper. I can bring them back to life. It's whatever.
Okay.
That's why it's a game.
That's why it's a game.
So I think,
But-
teaching your kids this is very important.
It's I'll choke this. I agree, especially when, like you said, you can. For me, gaming was like one of the first places where you got to explore two things. Like you got to explore application of problem solving and something that in a way that was compelling.
Yeah.
And so it didn't feel like schoolwork or homework, right? But you were literally, think about like you were running through mazes or whatever, or like we would get stuck on levels back in the day where it was like shit, like there's no checkpoints. If I die here, I'm going all the way back to the beginning. Like, how can I figure out how to get over this or overcome this? And so like it is like a compelling way to apply critical thinking and like problem solving skills.
Yeah.
And then two, with having the ability to do kind of all of these things, you further like just kind of cultivate like your creative thinking, you know what I mean, in a way like your storytelling, your creative thinking, your way to express yourself, right, in a safe, a very safe, mechanism to do so, environment to do so, right? And so like that's exactly why I'm like, guys, like lean into it. Like, what the hell you want to do? Like Linux will be on Minecraft or Roblox.
Oh, I love Minecraft and Roblox. I'm on it.
Yeah, bro, and he be going, he be going crazy in Roblox. Like he shocked me because like every once in a while he'll be like, hey dad, like let's play together or whatever. I'm like, okay, cool, yeah, let's hop on Roblox or whatever. I got it on my phone, and then he's like, hey, I'm playing this game.
was it Ghost Shinobi or something like that? It's basically like a battlegrounds fighting game or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, cool, I'll join you. He's like, hold on, I'm setting up my private server. So hold on, like you're 5 years old, like you're setting up your own private server.
So
You're learning how to
intuitive.
be right. You know how to be an you learn how to be an admin. He's like, hey, I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to turn this off. Like, I'm going to give you ultimate, or I'm going to put this. I'm going to add cooldowns. Like, hold on, like, bro, like this is.
Yeah.
I know to you, you're just playing a game, but like this is the foundation of like thinking about coding and all this other stuff, and like you're just naturally into that, and you
Yeah.
figured out how to like achieve that. And so, like to me, that's just like a really good testimonial to like the power that these spaces, these environments, um, can have in terms of creative problem solving, and then just again letting you express yourself from a creative aspect.
I mean, these games are so intuitive. The controls are so intuitive. Like they want to make it as simple as possible. And so people say I'm not great at video games. So when they see the controller, it's intimidating. I'm like, once you know where the buttons are and you realize every game the buttons are more or less the same,
The same.
it's you just pick it up. You just learn the different rules. Like for Roblox, I'm always impressed. Like I wish I had Roblox as a kid because it's all user created. There's this Iron Man game on there that I'm like, how can they could do this on this this, but not like a AAA title? And I'm like, this platform is amazing, just like Minecraft, like all the things, the user created content on there. And you can tell these kids and adults that do it, they have such a passion for whatever character they're trying to put in these games. They're like, well, look, if the AAA titles won't do it, I'll do it. That's why like I'm on Steam. Like Steam is just like, okay, you want a zombie game that is the hardest zombie game you ever play? Sure, play Project Zomboid. You want a survival game that does all the things you see on Naked and Afraid, but to 11, play The Forest. You want a space game
Forest,
better
that's a
than
good one.
Starfield or better than what Star Wars is trying to do? Here's this thing. Like I'm this space is so interesting. Like when I, for my job, talk to like different students about what they want to do with their life, especially in the gaming world, I say, well, I mean, you want to create your own, yeah, or you want to work for EA, sure, but you do better creating your own game, putting on Steam, and making money that way, and then
Yeah,
blowing
for
up.
sure. Go in D2C. Yeah, go in D2C, and then like what you really need at the end of the day, it's no different than like in any other creative space, like whether it's like music or art or whatever. It's like you just need a core fan base, and like you got to put in the work to do it,
Yeah,
right? But you can actually monetize as a independent creator selling D2C,
yeah,
like in the gaming space with like 5,000 people purchasing your game versus going to a big, EA or whatever the case may be, getting put on salary
yeah,
and giving them the same IP, but
yeah.
now they're going to monetize it. And yeah, millions of people are playing it at the end of the day, but like, what did you actually make from it?
Nothing.
Nothing, right? It's not right. You don't have any, licensing. You're not getting any royalties or residuals. It's like, no, bro, this is what we put you on salary for. All right, cool. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
Continue to go code and come up with some more, the next, multi-million-dollar idea that we're going to pocket for
it's
ourselves. And it's
true.
like, bro, why would you do that?
It's like when I look at Power World, like Power World came out of
Mm-hmm,
nowhere, super fun.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, of course Nintendo and Pokemon was trying to sue them because like, well, technically it's Pokemon, and the biggest sticking point is are they using a Pokeball? No, they're using a sphere. It's different.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, why is this quote unquote knockoff Pokemon game a better Pokemon game than half the
Then
crap
the
that they
Pokemon
put
game.
out? And it's just they stuck to the basics. They know what people want, and they said, "Here you go." And direct to consumer, we'll fight the legal battle once we're successful, but let's just put it out there. Like, don't ask permission, just do it, because people are going to tell you
Mm-hmm,
no. I mean, there's 1,000 people like,
mm-hmm.
"Well, I want a podcast, I want to do this." I'm like, "Then do it." That's why I started. I was like, "Well, I got nothing else to do. What's the worst that can happen?" My face is already
Yeah,
out there. My name's been on the internet for decades. There's
yeah.
I don't care. I just want to try something. And then look, the worst people in the world are getting monetized. Why can't a mediocre or the best person, not saying that's me, but like if the worst people on the planet can make money just talking crap, then the person down the street should be able to do the same, with a
Hell yeah.
quote unquote mediocre regular life that is not, that's what I aim for, just to have fun. Like money will always be there. just create
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So if you want to create a game, create a game. Like there's 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
I play a lot of mobile games. With a lot of simple premises. I mean, imagine a person that did Temple Run. They're like, I'm so
That's it.
rich.
Bro, imagine the remember when Flappy Birds
Oh
hit?
yeah, yeah. I remember that. I was in the Navy when that thing
If,
came out.
yeah, and Flappy Bird was just like a super simple premise, right?
Yeah,
Super simple premise, and it went viral. And obviously, those people made a shit ton of money, and it actually became like larger games. And now it's actually in like Dave and Buster's and kind of all
yeah,
these different spaces and stuff like
yeah.
that as IP. But like to your point, like I think the things that do the best, from a creative perspective, are the things that are always rooted in authenticity, right? And
Mm-hmm.
like you said, in passion. And so, like, if you're just doing this stuff because you're genuinely passionate about it and like authentic, and it comes through, like you said, Power Worlds, the person is truly passionate about the the premise of Pokemon, and
Mm-hmm.
they knew,
Yeah,
I'm not getting fulfilled with the IP that they're putting out, so I'm going to make my own version of this, and I'm just going to pour my passion into it, and like, all right, cool, let's
yeah.
fucking do it, and you see how it's taken off, right?
He's like, I want to eat Pokemon, and there's not a game where I can do that. So I'm gonna create Power
Yeah,
World.
but like, yeah, exactly. It's like in my mind, in this space, if I had to make those decisions, I should have the ability to say,
Yep.
how is this any different than a cow?
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
make you a steak now.
I'll make you a steak and then turn you into a slave in my work camp to create more resources. See, son, this is why Power World exists.
This is,
You know.
this is why Power World exists. It's just like GTA. This is
Yeah.
just another NPC here for you to have resources so you can
Yeah.
advance yourself.
That's why I keep my dark passage or my urges in check. That's why we watched Dexter growing up, kid, because I need you to understand that we all have a dark passenger, but here's how you channel it. I channel it playing Power World.
Power World.
You know, I'll never eat a pigeon, but like if I had a pigeon that had superpowers that can do an attack, then yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. Why wouldn't I eat that? Maybe I'll
No,
get powers. Maybe it's
maybe.
seasoned differently.
Yeah, it's that good kind of chicken. It's a good pigeon. It's with good lemon pepper. You know, it's that Korean fried chicken, the stuff that puts you to sleep.
Korean fried chicken.
That's how I cook my
Lemon,
pals. It's like Korean
lemon
barbecue.
pidgeotto.
Lemon pidgeotto. It tastes
It's a
good.
lemon pepper pidgeotto. That's it. Honey
Because in
garlic
Pokemon, they
pidgeotto.
eat Magikarp. But like, I bet they could eat a Pikachu. So that's why I created Power World. So I can live my dreams of eating Pikachu. You know,
That's it.
He's a
I
rat.
imagine I imagine it's zesty and tangy. I mean, he's an
Yeah,
electric Pokemon.
yeah. It's got to have some zest to it, New Orleans style.
New Orleans style. A little lemon pepper Pikachu.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's why we're the greatest country on earth, son. You can do all the things you want.
America.
America. I should teach this in class and stop all the bull crap.
This is why we left England.
Yeah.
The ability to do this.
That's why we have the money. So if we ever go against these Nintendo, we can, say, hey, that's technically not Pikachu. It's gobbledygook. And you can't eat Pikachu.
Yeah.
You can eat this thing.
Yeah, it's not even the same IP. We can eat our pals.
So if your kids are allowed to play Power World, just don't let them use an AK in the game because you can.
That's it.
But also in Power World, you can capture people too. You don't have like in Pokemon, you throw a Pokeball at a person, it does nothing. In Power World, you throw the sphere, you can capture a person with a Glock and use them to fight. So like, it's not Pokemon at all. You can't do that.
Exactly. You can't do that.
So
you can't voluntarily enslave and indoctrinate.
no. Hey,
Humans.
good news. Everybody there is white. So it's really pretty progressive.
Very progressive.
They made sure that like all the bad characters, all the Team Rocket knockoffs are all could be white.
So this is what we envision under the umbrella of DEI.
Yeah.
This is woke. This is woke.
Your character can be whatever you want, but the other people there, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter
Yeah.
at all.
Doesn't matter. That's why we love
Lord
it.
mercy.
That's why that's why we do what we do. So now this has been a good conversation. I now know how some tactics for whenever I have children to explain to them that certain um, politics on why we play the certain games we do, you know, how to shield them from certain things or how not to. I now know.
How not to? How to explain it? Give it the right context, right? That's
Yeah.
it. Parenting is all about providing your kids the right context so that when they go off into the world, they can apply that context and that rationale, that reasoning to
Mm-hmm.
whatever situation they run
Mm-hmm.
into. Because we will not be there at every moment, and
No.
if we do this right, when they go off to be adults, they'll be navigating a lot of these situations absent of us, and so you want that in the back of their ear. This is real world. This is not like GTA. I shouldn't punch this pedestrian because they
No.
aren't an NPC.
No. In the real world, unlike GTA, see, in GTA, you need to put a cheat code for everybody to have guns. But in real life in America, everyone just assume everyone is strapped. So
And
yeah,
that's it. And then you act accordingly.
we act
and,
accordingly.
and because I don't have a spear on me like Power Worlds, I can't just capture them
No.
and use them to fight with their
Mm-mm.
Glock. So
No. No.
if I throw a spear at them, they will probably try and shoot me with their Glock. And
Yeah.
so I need to act
So I best
accordingly.
just go to college. Yeah.
That's it. I think I'm just getting into engineering because that's
Yeah.
probably the right
Much
thing
safer
to do.
career.
Much
Like
safer career.
if my kid said, "Hey, Dad, I want to be X, Y, and Z," I'm like, "You should probably be an engineer or a pilot. Like, let's just do that. Like, don't.
Just do that.
I want to get an education. You don't.
You
Can I be a firefighter? You could be a
know. I
pilot.
mean,
Hey, why don't you be a yacht captain so you can, drive me around on the ship one day? Like, make your old man proud.
make your old man proud. That's my boy up there behind. That's
Yeah,
my boy up there behind the mask.
yeah. Dad, I want to run a nonprofit. You sure? You sure you want to run a casino?
It's like you don't need an education to run a nonprofit. Like you can
Yeah,
just do that.
yeah. You sure you don't want to be a bookie? Sounds like an
You
interesting
don't want to
career
be a
path.
bookie. This sounds like way more compelling. Way more compelling.
Yeah,
If you're a
this is
bookie.
not good for your life story, kid. Like,
No, not at all. How am I going
yeah.
to entertain? How am I going
Yeah.
to entertain the other folks over bingo? Telling them stories about my kids and runs a non for profit. They don't want to hear that shit.
Oh, yeah.
I told them little Johnny's a bookie,
He's a bookie. He broke
and
4 legs this week.
because people didn't make good on their Power World bets.
Yeah, because he didn't play GTA as a kid, he grew up to be a bookie because he thought it was an interesting life. He didn't get that aggression out as a kid, so he grew up to become a
to
bookie.
to really find out that after a while, by the time you break your eighth ankle, it all blurs together. It's
Yeah,
just
put it
boring.
together.
You get tired of it. You don't even want
Yeah.
to run around and punch pedestrians. Matter of fact,
Mm-hmm.
the people who play GTA the most spend most of their time trying to adhere to rules in GTA.
Yeah.
I'm gonna follow the traffic lights because that's what makes it entertaining.
That's called a
Everybody else is
challenge.
running through it. That's called a challenge, right? And then you find out the greatest challenge in the world is actually living a proper life.
Yeah. A
We
proper
figured it out,
life
bro.
with proper morals instead
Well,
of,
proper moral. That's
you
the real
know,
challenge. Being
instead of doing
based
what I do.
instead of doing what I do. This is easy. This shit is easy.
This
That's
is
why I
easy
do
for
it.
me. That's why I do it.
That's why I
This is
do it.
my
It's super easy.
aspiration. Super easy for me. It's funny. Speaking of aspirations, my last guest, I'm starting this tradition where I ask the last question that a guest wants me to ask for the next person. That sounds like a convoluted way.
Yeah, I
So
get you.
he wants me to ask, what is the one thing you would do besides, as long as money wasn't a problem? Like, what's the one career path you would do if money was no object?
If money was no object, what is the one career path that I would do? Um, I would, yeah, I would probably end up being like some type of writer.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've always like writing has always just intrigued me. And telling stories of some type has always intrigued me. And whether that's like um, you know fiction, nonfiction, whatever, just being able to write and express myself and not have to worry about like trying to monetize it, just like get these creative ideas out or whatever the case may be and express myself. Like I would absolutely do that if I didn't have to worry about, providing for, 6 people and, raising them to be, uh,
not bookies.
Constructive members of society, not bookies.
Not running numbers in Florida.
Shooting dice.
Yeah. Now there's anything wrong with that.
We got a numbers game going in Sanford. We own it.
Yeah.
We own everything this side of downtown
this side of Lake
Sanford.
Monroe.
Bro. Cross that St. John's River Bridge and you're fucking done.
Yeah. Oh God. You go past Henry's Depot, that's your ass.
That's your ass. You're running to the Watts boys. This is our territory. Yeah. So if money wasn't an object, bro, for sure, I'd be doing some type of writing in some way, shape, form, or fashion.
No, I can see that. I when he asked me that yesterday, my answer was maybe like a private investigator or investigative journalist, because I like just figuring out how things not just work, but solving mysteries, solving crimes. Because growing up, I didn't really want to be a cop, but I thought the idea of being like a detective, solving a crime was more fascinating to me. But then I didn't want to do it within the system, like not vigilante Punisher style, but more so, if people like, hey, I have a private investigator service, old 1940s noir sort of like, solving crimes.
The toothpick in the quarter. Right?
Yeah. Just like, because all those people, they were their own boss. They had a freelance agency. I'm an investigative journalist. I'm an investigative this. Like I go around, just documenting what happened or reporting on what happened. So I've always found that fascinating. So that was mine.
Yeah, I like it too. I can see that fitting you too as well, because it's like it's law adjacent. You know what I mean? So it's just like it's not. It's not like I'm beholden to the law, so I can kind of blur the lines or skirt it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I can also hide under the umbrella of the law, right? It's that like morally ambiguous space that you can navigate.
Pretty gray area, because for me, I grew up in a law enforcement family, but I have no love for it just because of how they treated my family and, father, hearing my father getting beat up by the police on my lawn and all that. So I have no love for that. But for me, it was more like, it'd be interesting I'm the person they call, like when those, like, was it Castle or whatever? Like those procedures, like they can't figure it out. I'll be the cool dude who's I
know Nico can.
Yeah.
It's like, I hate y'all, but I care about this person that was impacted by this situation. And so I'm going to do right by them, but fuck you.
Yeah. No propaganda here. None of that. Like I'm literally like psych. I'll pretend to have psychic powers just for the check, just to, I'm the mentalist. Like those type of shows, that's who I'd be. Like the thinker or some crap. Like outside the law, but I have a nice office in Miami or somewhere, and I just go on wacky adventures.
The logistician,
and the logistician in 2028. I do everything and anything. There is no. I have no off button. I never sleep. I'm always awake. That's my backstory. I'm not good at fighting. I'm not good at anything else but solving cases.
That's it. My only moral code is a code of logic.
Code of logic. Yeah, I'll kill people, sure.
Wherever that leads me, right? Wherever that leads me, right? If it was logical to kill you,
you're dead.
I'll do it. You're dead. Logic. I'm sorry. Logic trumps all.
So
I can see why they were selling drugs. That makes logical sense.
My logical sense. I don't see a problem here. The socioeconomic circumstances they were put in by our country. Of course, they sold crack in Baltimore. It makes I wouldn't be that great in The Wire. I'd be like, why are we bothering these people?
People let them do the thing. They get it how they live.
Yeah.
That makes logical sense.
The logistician. I get it. I get why we planned that attack. I get why the country did that. I get it. Yeah. It makes logical sense.
That makes sense. That makes logical sense.
We got to get the oil somehow. I get
like,
it.
like we can't build consensus to go green, so
Yeah.
we got to keep feeding these fossil fuels. I get it.
I see why these real estate agents and these multi-billion-dollar real estate companies want land in Florida because they want to, sell it to the old folks. And then I see also why we created these weather machines to
I
create these
get it. I get
hurricanes.
it.
It's literally
I
the
get
Lex
it.
Luthor's plan from Superman. We're going to
I
buy
get
up
it.
this land and then destroy the other land to raise our value. Like, I get it.
I get it. I get it. It makes logical sense to me.
Logisticians, 6
No,
seasons.
6 seasons easily. Just going around. I get it. That's the whole premise of the show.
Yeah,
I get it. It
I get
makes
it.
sense.
That's the
I
tagline. I
get it.
get it.
I get it.
Um,
I get it.
and then
Go
my
ahead.
other my other question I like to ask is, what is something I can ask the next guest?
Okay. Ask the next guest. What is what is a core memory from their high school years?
Okay.
What's a core memory from their high school years, and how that has impacted them today, or what they've carried with them uh, today from that.
Okay.
I feel like those years are like so formative in terms of like revealing a little bit more about like
Yeah.
who you are in terms of the seeds of your like your character and how you navigate stuff.
Yeah.
That like I think you can think back to some instances. Everybody can like, oh yeah, this situation, this specific situation, how this played out. That's like a core memory, and it makes up who I am. Like right now as an adult. So
Nah, that's a great question. I'll definitely ask the next person, whoever it may be. I don't know. But for me to answer, I would say, hearing that question now off the top of my head, I can't remember if it was freshman or sophomore. There was, I guess a tradition. People just got into fights like directly after the last day of school or whatever.
mhm.
And I can't remember what happened, or I do remember the event, but I don't know my headspace. I remember going to the school bus to go, home, and I got like randomly punched in the face. And mind you, I think I was a freshman, so like, I wasn't really a fighter or anything like that. I did have a lot of anger because of like, stuff going on at home. And I remember that day I was just not feeling good because at home, things were happening and stuff. But I remember getting punched in the face, and I looked around and I didn't know who did it, but my mind told me I think I know who did. Don't know the name, don't know the face, but somebody's looking at you ready to square up.
Yeah.
And part of me was like, okay, if I start fighting this person, just swinging, I may get beat up. I may not, who knows? But I do have a lot of anger in me. And I was just like, this person is going to catch the brunt of a lot of shit.
Hmm.
And I just turned around and walked away, and I sat on the bus and went home. And then I don't think I've ever told the story out loud now that I'm thinking about it, but it was kind of interesting to me because it shows that I can turn the other cheek. Not saying I was religious, not saying I
Hmm.
wouldn't have fought, but it was just more so. And I've gotten, some things happened later on, but I think that was my first real, like, I don't want to say conflict, but it was just my first introduction that people are just going to hit you or hurt you for no reason. They have no
Yeah.
rhyme, they have no reason. And I think that's where my brain really came alive to say, oh, people will do you harm for no reason.
At all.
There's
Yeah.
tradition. And so that's one of the core memories that have always been in my head. Just be like, I know I can turn the other cheek. I know I can shove somebody and swing on somebody and, headlocks and all that stuff. But
Hmm.
one, I never found fighting all that cool, but also I didn't grow up with brothers, so never really, I had cousins and stuff. But that was one of the core memories that just always stuck with me. So no, I'm gonna
Um,
definitely ask
that's
that.
yeah. That's actually interesting as hell, especially because like for me, like just listening to it, it also speaks to like your ability to exercise some type of like discipline and self control in a situation where it's highly emotionally charged, right? Like you could have easily escalated, and you would have been well within your rights. Like I don't think
Oh
anybody would have been
yeah.
like, why the hell is he acting like that? They're like, oh
Oh
yep,
no, I
and
was
that.
well within my rights. It's one of those. It's like growing up. If I ever got bullied, I went home and told my dad. My dad came to the school, and my dad verbally gave permission from to the teachers, to the other kids' parents, that my son has permission to fight you, and like just verbally gave it to everybody. And I remember standing
Like
up one time
like
that happened. I went, "Oh yeah!" Like my brain just was like, "I anything can happen." You know, my dad knew martial
yeah.
arts. He taught me a little something, but not like train. But I often thought back to it, like if I was like a martial artist, I would have had to walk away anyway because that's what they train you
Yeah.
to have restraint.
Train you
Just like
to.
if you're
Mhm.
a boxer and your hands are registered as lethal weapons, you
Yeah, you
just
can't.
walk
Yeah.
away. So yeah,
Mhm.
at that age, I did struggle with that internally in my room on my own for years. Like, man, should I have fought that guy? And I don't think I ever saw him again. But it was one of those just punch random people days. It's like if I lived
Mhm.
in New York City or something like that, and it's just like, I'm just going to rob this guy or whatever. And like, I
Mhm.
knew then everybody can be a target. So it doesn't really matter
Mhm.
who you are or what you do. There is no amount of
Yeah.
clout that'll save you.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, that's deep, bro. That's deep.
Mm.
Yeah, like I like that. Like, there's no amount of clout that saves you. And sometimes, sometimes we can be victims, not victims, but for lack of a better expression right now, right? But we can be, you know, victims or on the the receiving end of something that's not desirable, and
Hmm.
it not be rooted in anything rational or based off of what we did. Sometimes it's just this how the circumstances and situation played out, right?
Yeah,
And like I think
for sure.
sometimes we try and read in a little bit too deeply to like, oh shit, this bad situation, like what happened to me, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like what did I do to go wrong to let it get to this point? And like sometimes, bro, some shit happens to you just because some shit happens to you. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And like now you have a choice to make out of that to say how you're going to respond to it, right? Because that's what you have full control over it.
Hmm.
And then to like not necessarily like one of my favorite quotes, like I try and live by and model my life after is like live in the vision, not in the circumstances, right? And so like that's a situation where you could have easily just been so caught up in the circumstances of who's this person, why they punch me in the face, and what, and shit I thought that it would have deterred you from the vision. Like, like, what do I care about? How do I like to carry myself? What's important to me? You know what I mean? And like not getting lost in that. And so, just listening to you, kind of share that story, like that's what I take away from it. Is like it's another example of that. Like, all right, no, you stay true to like, bro, I got so much other stuff going on, and I know what occurred here has nothing to do with what I did or who
Yeah.
I am, and I have complete autonomy over how I decide to respond to it. I'm gonna stay on course with what I envision the next steps for me should be, which is I'm gonna turn my cheek. I'm gonna go about my life. I'm
Yeah,
good.
I got to catch this bus. I got to go home and
Yeah.
play San Andreas. Like I don't have time for this. Like, and then
Yeah.
it's just to bring it back to that. Like growing up, the quote my dad and mom always said is of course, to thy own self be true. And then one quote that one of my mom's old coworkers gave me on a piece of paper that I've always thought about is even if all, not I. And that is
Mm,
sort of one of the
mm,
things I sort of live my life now. Of course, I've maybe fallen short of some of those
for
phrases like
sure.
we all
We
have,
all
but I think in my core being is like, well, this is what I'm doing, and I'm not impressed by what anybody else does because what they're doing is what they're
have.
doing.
That, that
That's
is
why
you
I'm
to a
never
T, bro.
deterred. Like,
Sure.
okay, people have there's thousands of movies with the same premise. There's thousands of radio shows, podcasts. There are thousands of people out there that are doing the same thing I'm doing. They're no more qualified than I am. That's probably one of
Hmm.
the reasons why I don't have like a favorite musical artist or anything like that. Because I'm like, they're just people who are doing something. Yes, great to an extent, but I choose to think of it as great, and that
Hmm.
that fluctuates. But no, like I like that question, and I'll definitely pass that on to the next poor soul, I guess, to listen to me.
Still, man. Nah, this is good, man. This has been really, really cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully, hopefully after you go back through and like you review and you edit or whatever the case may be, you decide, you know what? I think I'm gonna stay friends with Devon.
Well, I
I'm
got
gonna
to
keep
ask you,
following
should we? I mean, do you want me to do a live Instagram? Do you want to do it live? Do you want to know you want this in real
him.
time?
Yeah, we can absolutely we can. I mean, my Instagram is not overly compelling. It's just
Oh, I
very
don't
much
look through
about
your
my.
Instagram. Let me be clear to the rest of the listeners. I don't care what you're posting on here. I have no interest. I only watch
It's
out
irrelevant
of
to me.
it's honestly on an algorithm. Like it just does it automatically when I go through the story. Let's be real. I skip.
It's like there's some math in there, and it just presents whatever you put, and I don't
Yeah,
care.
yeah.
It's whatever. I
I
know
care
you.
nothing. I know
Double
you.
tap.
And am I impressed? Most times, no.
No,
But no.
but
We could.
but but you cared enough to post, so I'll
Yeah.
give you a heart.
I'll give you a heart. Did I watch your reel? Probably not.
Probably
Because I know
not.
you haven't watched all of mine. Yeah, that's okay. So no, yeah. I'll just ask you: Do you think we should remain Instagram friends or followers?
I do, Nico. I do think we should stay
Okay.
remain Instagram friends and followers. This
All
has
right.
been great, bro.
All right. Yeah, I couldn't pull it up because I had to log in again, and I don't feel like doing that. See,
Too
that's
much.
how
Yeah,
authentic
it's
I
not over
am.
though.
Like I literally, it didn't come up automatically, and so I'm
I'm
stopping.
good.
Just know that I, if it was no, then I definitely would have went through the steps. So yeah, there's that.
Oh man, this is awesome, bro. I
All
appreciate you,
right.
man, as always. And look forward to obviously this episode, but future episodes, man. I think you're onto something. I think you're onto something really, really dope.
Talking to somebody every
Keep on, man.
week until I'm 90. Let's do it.
I love it, man. All right, brother.
All right, man.
Later.